What's up, everybody? Welcome to my top 10 best and worst movies of 2023. Or at the very least, ones that I saw. I saw a total of 110 movies throughout 2023. 79 from a movie theater, proving that the movie theater is still king. 17 off of Netflix, 7 from Hulu, 3 from Prime, 2 on Paramount Plus, and then 1 each on Peacock and Disney Plus. Now, this does not include Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Rebel Moon, The Iron Claw, or Poor Things, or at least the potential that they're included, because this is being recorded before they hit my local theater, because I'm going away for the holidays, so I will not be around to actually see those movies. I won't be able to see them until 2024. So if they're awesome, or bad enough, they'll make the 2024 list. Well, that's enough chatter. Let's get started. Coming in at number 10 for my worst movie is Beau is Afraid. It stars Joaquin Phoenix as an A24 movie, which right off the bat I knew it was going to be weird because it's A24. But when I got there, when I was sitting in the theater, I was just, oh my God. While Joaquin Phoenix is absolutely amazing, which is no surprise, the man's a phenomenal actor. The movie itself is just so incredibly slow. It's nonsensical. I have no idea what's going on most of the time. And I wanted to go home, but I don't like walking out of movies. At number 10, best is the Super Mario Brothers movie. It honestly surprised the holy hell out of me. Like everybody else, I was very skeptical of Chris Pratt as Mario. But you know what? The man pulled it off. Anya Taylor-Joy was a great Peach. Jack Black stole the show as Bowser. It was a fun story. The comedy was funny. And, you know, I honestly cannot wait to see more from that universe. At number 9 worst is Bird Box Barcelona, and it's just, my God. It was clearly just a cash grab from Netflix. Like, oh, hey, Bird Box was an unprecedented hit. Everybody talking about it. There was a meme that went viral about it, though it was kind of dangerous because people were walking around blindfolded. But they clearly were just trying to capitalize on the craziness of the first movie, because Barcelona just shows us nothing new from the world. It's the overall same story. There's a group of survivors trying to survive, except this time it's in Barcelona, Spain, instead of somewhere in the United States. And once again, we do not see the monsters that are causing people to kill themselves. Coming in at number 9 for the best is Bottoms, which was a movie that also surprised the hell out of me. I did not expect it to be good. I just thought it was going to be just another dumb teen sex comedy. But you know what? The comedy was actually kind of smart, and it was legitimately funny. Everybody involved was fantastic, and it surprised me. Coming in at number 8 for the worst is Meg 2, The Trench. And, it was, God damn, it was bad. Now, the first movie is bad, but it's a fun bad. It's one of those movies that's so bad, it's just good, it's fun. Meg 2 was nothing of the sort. It was just plain bad. During the trailer, there was a big tease of like a fucking giant squid, and it was just there, overdone. It's like, wow, that sucked. But just in general, the movie was just boring as holy hell. The action was okay, I guess, but just in general, like, this is a series that needs to die. Number 8 for the best goes to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Now, last year, Tom Cruise made the number 1 spot with Top Gun Maverick. This year, he is still on the best list, but he goes down to 8. Dead Reckoning Part 1 takes elements from all the other Mission Impossibles, all the other story elements, many other characters. We see a lot of people return. We see some people die. It's like, whoa, like a lot went on, and like it was action packed, and the story kept you interested and at the edge of your seat, and you wanted more. And thankfully, we're going to get more with part 2, which I think is next year. Could be 2025. I'm pretty sure it's next year. So I'm looking forward to the finale of the Dead Reckoning story and what I believe is going to be the finale of the series. Coming in at 7 for the worst is The Exorcist Believer. This movie it was so disappointing. It should have never even been made, period. The Exorcist is one of the greatest horror movies ever crafted. And The Exorcist Believer just shits on that legacy. All it was a generic possession story. But instead of one person, it's 2 people. And it's like, oh, you have to choose one or the other because I'm going to let one live. I'm going to let one die. It's like, who gives a shit? Like, I didn't care about these characters. Nothing about the movie made me want to care about these characters. And the big return of the mother from the original Exorcist movie, she was just there. And it was a waste of time. Number 7 for the best goes to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I thought was just the perfect ending for James Gunn's story. This is what happens when the studio doesn't interfere. They let it be its own standalone movie for the most part, because it does have elements that show the future of what's going to happen like later on in the MCU, absolutely, because it introduces new characters and like new story elements. But for the most part, Guardians 3, along with 2 and 1, stand on its own. It's funny, it's heartwarming, it's action-packed. I loved it. The first movie is without a doubt the best of the 3, but I still loved Volume 3. Number 6 for the worst goes to Vacation Friends 2, which it was just a waste of time. It wasn't just a waste of time. It was unfunny. It was horribly unfunny. And all they were doing was rehashing the first movie. Number 6 for best goes to Evil Dead Rise. Now, I am one of those people, 100%, that it's not Evil Dead without Bruce, without Ash Williams. So I went into this movie with low expectations because I didn't think they could pull it off without Bruce on screen. Even though I did like the initial remake, it still was missing Bruce. But Evil Dead Rise, I think, proved that the series doesn't necessarily need Ash anymore. Would I love to see him come back for closure for his character? 100%. No doubt about it. But Rise proved that there's plenty of other stories to tell involving the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon. Because as we find out in Army of Darkness, there are 3. So it makes sense that there's 3 different stories. There's multiple stories, really. You've got the first book from the original series, the second book in the remake. This is the 3rd book. So we have all 3 now on Earth. Well, they were already on Earth, but in the universe. And I want more. I want more out of this universe. I want to see what havoc the Necronomicon Ex Mortis can wreak on possibly another city. Number 5 for the worst goes to Pet Sematary Bloodlines. It is a prequel to the remake that came out in 2019 that had John Lithgow as Judd Crandall. And I love John Lithgow. Man is a phenomenal actor. But it's the line, dead is better. It just does not work without Fred Gwynne. That's what this movie was. It followed a young Judd Crandall, but unfortunately, they turned the movie into a slasher flick, which is disappointing because Pet Sematary is not necessarily a slasher movie. I mean, yes, people are murdered because that's what happens in horror, but the scary part about the original Pet Sematary with Fred Gwynne was just the possibility of people coming back from the dead and going from being their regular normal selves to being just scary as fucking evil. 5 for the best goes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I went into this movie not really expecting too much. I mean, it's considered a reboot of the series, and for the first time in the movie's history, or the series history, it actually had teenagers voicing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And what I got out of it was something hysterical. The movie is genuinely funny. It's action-packed. It's a great story. There's a fantastic tease at the end for the future. It's honestly was everything I could have wanted in a new TMNT movie. For 4 of the worst goes to It's a Wonderful Knife. Oh man, like it doesn't shy away that it's basically just a horror version of It's a Wonderful Life, but the execution I think is just very poor. 4 for the best goes to Oppenheimer, which, you know, if it wasn't for the next 3 movies in the best, it would have been the best movie of the year because it is just phenomenally made. The acting is superb. The story just keeps you, even though it's a little over 3 hours long, the movie keeps you wanting more. You want to know what happens to Oppenheimer. You want to know what happens to this one girl who's played by Florence Pugh, who she was amazing too. It's just, it may be Christopher Nolan's best film. Number 3 for the worst goes to The Outlaws, which is just really dumb. It is an absolute waste of the time you watch a movie. I think it's like an hour and a half. So it's a waste of 90 minutes. It's terribly, horribly, disgustingly unfunny. The whole time I just sat there, just emotionless, bored. And I wanted to laugh, but I just couldn't because just none of it was funny. Number 3 for the best goes to John Wick, Chapter 4. If you would have told me that when the original John Wick came out that we'd be 4 movies in and a TV show, though the TV show really wasn't that good, unfortunately. But if you would have told me we would have made it 4 films, I would have been like, nah, because even though the first movie is amazing, it is glorious, and there's a major tease for it to continue, I didn't really think it would. The series gets better and better as it goes on. The action gets more amazing, and it's just, even though the way Chapter 4 ended makes it seem like it's the end, I really hope it's not. I hope it's the giant misdirection and we're going to get Chapter 5 because I don't want the series to end. Number 2 for the worst goes to Paint. The trailers for Paint made this look like it was going to be genuinely funny. Owen Wilson played a guy with a TV show who paints. It looked like it was just going to be a giant parody of Bob Ross. But what you get is just a slow, boring, unfunny mess. Not once did I laugh during this disaster of a movie. Number 2 for the best is a recent one in Godzilla -1. This was Toho's big return to Godzilla, and with a budget less than $15 million, which is way less than like the Marvel movies have, it blew everything Marvel has done out of the water. over the last couple of years. The story was compelling. Godzilla looked amazing. You actually cared about the humans in the movie. Usually it's like, who cares? Godzilla, take them out. But you actually care about the humans in this movie because the story is just that compelling and touching and heartwarming and scary. And it was a great return to his roots for Godzilla. The movie was practically perfect. So, the worst movie I saw this year? Expendables 4. Or, as I like to call it, Expenforbles, because that's how they styled the title, which is really fucking stupid. The movie as a whole is an absolute waste of time. The action is boring. It's boring. Action with gunplay, knife play, explosions. It's boring. It is 100% boring. It absolutely blew my mind how far this series has fallen. It's just a legitimately bad movie. And here we are, my number one movie of 2023, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. What can I say about Across the Spider-Verse that has not been said by every reviewer out there? Whether they write or they do it on YouTube or podcast or whatever. Across the Spider-Verse, it was just amazing. The story was absolutely 100% compelling. It was heartwarming. It was kind of scary at times. And it was just amazing how every time they went to a different universe across the Spider-Verse, the animation style even changed a little bit because it's a different universe. I'm honestly sad that Beyond the Spider-Verse, whenever that does come out, 2025 I think is now the year it's coming out, which sucks that we got to wait that long. But like, I don't want to see it end. I want to see Miles Morales continue, because even though Tom Holland has been a great Spider-Man, the movies have been very good. No Way Home was mind-blowingly amazing. I need more Miles Morales, man. The Spider-Verse movies, even though there's just been 2, they've blown everything the MCU has done out of the water. Well, that's it. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more videos. Don't forget to comment about what your favorite or least favorite movies were of 2023. And I will see you next time.